Greetings. We are here in the lab. We're in the lab. We have our guests with us. We are here in the lab. We got our guests, Shani People in the house. Shani People in the house. Again, another segment of Run and Tell That to the Run and Tell That family. We say share. Because again, we're going to have a conversation as we always do. And so, Shani People, glad to have you on Run and Tell That. Again, one of the special people, like we tell everybody to come on Run and Tell That, our special people, glad to have you here with us this evening.
Yes, People. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. And so we're going to roll with. We roll with. This is how we roll. Shani, we got to ask you, who are you?
I am Shani, as you said, but I also go by my aunt Shani. I am a being, multifaceted, multidimensional.
All right, cool. And we got Clay Hodges in the house. Clay Hodges, we give a shout out because we had Clay Hodges with us last week on the show on Run Tell That, Fat Vegan. And so guess what? Y'all heard it. I'll be making cameo appearances inside on Fat Vegan, the second series coming up. Bam, I can't wait. And so now, Shani, we got to ask you this question. We do a Run Tell That. Like, hey, and Brother Betty Jones, glad to have you. Good evening to you also. We can say, who your people? Who your people? You know, you're laughing at Mayat. I'm my sister Mayat. Who your people, Sister Mayat?
My people are the copper people, the people of hue, and people who are on the right path, which is to find self.
Okay. That's my people. All right. And so ask this question. Who inspires you? What inspires? Who inspires you? What inspires you? And see, with us, it's a range of things. Because again, like I said, we have conversation. We all chill. We ain't like all them other people and how they function. We just have real conversations. Because my people, and Run Tell That, they're going to say, this is a different show right here because we have conversation. We got people planting seeds and everybody. So who inspires you or inspires you or what inspires you?
Okay, I'll go with the what. So what inspires me is the perseverance to continue on. Throughout history, if you look at different tribes, different cultures, different people, the underlying thing about it is survival, and not just survival, but thriving through survival. Like the human spirit to keep going, to progress, but not to progress in a negative way. Progression in a way that is beneficial to the whole, not just to the self. You know what I mean? So that's what inspires me. Those that understand that we are all one, essentially. I mean, yes, I am for my people, but at the end of the day, if there was a nuclear bomb to go off, it wouldn't like skip me because of my, you know what I mean? It wouldn't skip me because of that. So at the end of the day, we all affect each other. So what inspires me is that when people can overcome that and come together and survive. I don't even know a better way to put that, but that's what inspires me to keep going. Wanting to know more, wanting to understand, dissect, you know, create better ways, better avenues, things of that nature.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm like saying, it's all good. It's all chill. That's what I'm saying. We just want you to put it out there because I'm going to tell you who I am and tell you what it's about. And we roll with that. That's why, again, we all comfortable. And so now I'm going to say this to you and throw it out there to you. What song or songs give you that, make you feel this, what songs out there, when you hear those songs like, woo, okay. All right.
It's
It
so
gives you that.
it's so
I
funny
wasn't
that
finished.
you asked
I
that.
wasn't finished, Shawnee.
Oh,
I wasn't finished talking. Oh God, you know what? Can I like get myself? Can I express myself? Oh my God! I'm just
yeah.
saying. I want to make sure that what song or songs, because we know some of our people have got several songs, and we want to put what song give you that, oh, make you like, fool, that you feel like, okay, so that we want our people to know. We want you to share with folks, because that might help some of them. But go ahead. So now I'm gonna be quiet, because now since you tried to like dominate me, y'all see what the deal is, right? Y'all see how she is, right? She be trying to hound somebody.
Not at all. I thought you were done though, but so I'm one of those different people as you mentioned that like have different songs, but I'm not only that. It goes even deeper than just like the multiple songs. It's about the mood, the season where I am in life, and so right now, as of today, the song that I have like on repeat is actually a reggaeton song. It's a Spanish song. I literally do not speak a lick of Spanish, maybe a little French, but I do not. I mean, but I really love the beat. I really love I guess the message. I feel the vibe from it. But it's called "Mommy" by Becky G, and it just gets me moving. I'm a dancer, so I like music that I can feel the beat to. And makes me want to move.
Okay, and see that's what it's about. We just let me go and clear it up, because we're gonna get into some stuff that's gonna be some serious stuff, and I don't need you being hesitant about this, because again, our people run tell that. That's why I got you on here. I want you to speak and share, because see, I can go and talk about it, but see, it's always good when I got other people on the show who can talk about some of this right here. So it seemed like, okay, it just ain't Jamal with this perspective like that. So that's why I'm saying Shani all trying to be shy, but she didn't say that when she was handling me on the streets of Savannah, downtown Savannah, trying to handle me. So again, I'm just saying,
I
I'm
was
just saying, yeah.
learning. I
I
was
put, I, put, I
learning.
put the business out there. I put the business out there. She tried to handle me. She tried to tell me, like, she said to me, El Stupido, because she knew Spanish. She said, El Stupido, El Stupid. So now but see, I just roll with it, because I know that don't define who I am. So now we're going to move into this right here. So what is astrology?
Oh, okay. So, um, I'm not even gonna give you the easy definition. I'm gonna give you the one that I truly think it is. I think it is a web connection. I think that it is one body, one entity that is. I wouldn't say broken up into different parts or facets. I would say that it's just more different energy concentrations or energy centers. You know what I mean? Different planetary alignments or different planets itself. They all have like their own meaning spiritually, physically. You know what I mean? All of those levels. So, but it's all one. You know what I mean? It's all one complete thing, and it's like an evolution. You know what I mean? Once you get to the last study. So, oh, there's another thing too about me with astrology that isn't typical with others. So I don't go by the 12 sign astrology that typical. I go by the 13 sign astrology. So 13 sign astrology, which is also called sigil astrology. It goes by basically, if I were to have a telescope, we were to have a telescope and we were to look into the constellations right now, it will line up with the constellations that are presently right now. So if I want to put it in a way where you can understand the vast difference and why I chose to go on to 13 sign astrology instead of staying with 12 sign. 12 sign is like being in your neighborhood. Sigil astrology is like being at your house. That is your exact address. You know what I mean? So they're close, but sigil is a bit more it's just a bit more specific. And to me, it's a bit more of a truer based system. So yeah, so even with that though, Pisces is still the last zodiac. I just wanted to throw that out there that I'm not your typical astrologer. So, and I also don't just do your natal chart, I do your progressive chart. So not only do I do where you were when you were born, like what energy you came down here with and the things that get you, you know what I mean, an understanding you came down here with, but also where you are right now presently, because we evolved. And a lot of the times we evolved through our closer planets. So like the bigger planets like Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, those don't typically move as much, but they do move into a degree. So we call those houses. So because we can't, particularly say this is that specific energy, but it still has an influence of that energy, we call it the house. and the house is a bit more vast when it comes to like the planet is more specific, right? So when it comes to that though, it's just it's a complete story. And I think that what people tend to pinpoint about astrology is their sign, their sun, and then more, even less importantly, their sun sign, which is just a facet of who you are. You know what I mean? The moon is your emotional world, right? Venus, Mercury, communication, thinking, mind. So there's all these different facets that make the whole and complete person. And for me, with astrology, I think that more people should look at that. Like, don't just focus on your sign, focus on the evolution of that sign. So if you're the seventh sign, which is some people would say Libra, I say Scorpio, but here, no, there, doesn't matter. You still have more to learn. Like there's still, you know, and even when you get to Pisces, there's still more to learn. You start right back over with Aries, with self, right? Because everything starts with the self. So I like astrology because you can never stop learning from it. It has a vast amount of information from the past, the future. You can do, you know, look at an almanac that'll have like the next 100 years. You know what I mean? It'll be accurate. So, and it's in tune. It's in tune with the seasons. It's in tune with the planet. It's not just, you know what I mean, a one thing. You can, even in tarot is into, astrology is also in tarot. A lot of the
we gonna get the tarot, baby. We just hold on, Shani. Shani, we ain't trying to do the whole we ain't trying to do the whole show in 20 minutes right now. I'm like, God, that's what I'm telling everybody out there. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I had to deal with for 5 hours one day.
That's what I think about astrology, though. I just had to get.
Oh my God! Because I need to. Because now I want to ask this question right here. When you say the 13th, that their 13th sign, what is the 13th sign that most people don't talk about or discuss really?
Okay, so the 13th sign, which is essentially the last sign, is kind of between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So I call it kind of a half. I call it 8.5, but that's just me. It's called Ophiuchus though, and it was discovered, because it's always been there, but it was discovered and back in 2011, I believe, 2011, 2012 is when they decided to actually acknowledge it. And the reason why I acknowledge it is because, like I said, with 13 sign astrology, you look at the telescope first. So I literally look at star maps. You know, like I want to learn like the planets from like my naked eye type thing. You know, so yeah, astronomy really, but it falls over the galactic belt, so it counts. It affects us. And to me, it's the most important sign and house, because I call it the 13th house, but the 8.5 house, which is the house of healing, the house of the healer. So Ophiuchus represents the serpent bearer, which is essentially the one, he who heals and replenishes and revives themselves. So after you go through the phoenix with the Scorpio, you get burned, you get scorched, right? You become this new being though. And that being requires healing, you know what I mean? And that's Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the time in your life where you're healing, you're building, you're repairing. You know what I mean? So for them to leave it out, I just think that's sad. Like, because it really does empower you. And those that are born during that time. So another thing about Ophiuchus is it is the shortest time in the zodiac. It has the shortest time, in the sun. So it's about maybe 14 and a half, roughly 15 days. So these people is a select type of people, right? To be born during such a time period, you know? So I think they should know more about themselves personally.
Okay. So I'm going to say this to everyone who's listening, who's checking out Runtel, that the opinions of Shani Peoples, Sister Mayat Shani, are solely her opinions. It is not the opinion of Runtel that, and particularly we talk about Jamal, because she just had messed up. So some of y'all know she had just messed up, because I was going to ask you a question. And if there's 2 questions I'm going to ask you, and I hope for you get 2 questions. Everybody else get 1 question, and I want you to get it right. What is the best zodiac sign in the whole wide world? What is the best zodiac sign in the whole wide world? Because it's in the 12 and it's in the 13. So I'm about to ask you this question, and I want you to get that answer right. Because
I'm gonna keep it politically correct, and I'm gonna just say all. They all have their own significance, importance, and they all have their day. They all have their day and time. But my particular favorite season if there was a season that I did enjoy that to have or to be in, it would be Taurus season, because that is the season of receiving, and not only receiving, but you're receiving on a physical level. So you're, you know what I'm saying, you're able to obtain things. You know, Taurus is this is mine, this is possession, this is, you know what I mean? You're learning how to claim things for yourself. But I have no favorites. They all play their own roles. What's your favorite? What is Mr. Jamal's favorite Zodiac?
We ain't talking about no favorites. We talking about what is legitimate, what is actually real. I need some
The
water to
best?
pour me right now, but I ain't got no water in
They're
the
all
bottle.
the
Because
best,
like I
though,
said,
so it has to be your favorite.
you had the wrong answer. And Tiffany, my sister Tiffany got it right. It is Leo. Leo is the best sign of all. It is the greatest sign of all. It's the sun. That's why I need some water to pour on me. I ain't got no water
Oh
because
Lord.
I'm going to try to
That is
maintain
a
my composure.
Leo
Because again,
answer.
she got the answer wrong. It is Leo. It is Leo. It is Leo. Thank you,
That is
Tiffany. Bam,
funny.
1501 in the house. We understand. She just made a
That is
mistake,
very
but because again, we
no, I
understand
do love a good
that.
Leo, because
that
if
but,
there was an army, if
but,
I was to be
but,
building an army, I need a Leo to be leading that army. Okay, because the Leo's gonna get us through it. And they're
uh,
gonna fight.
uh,
They ain't gonna lead their team. They ain't gonna leave nobody behind. They're gonna make sure everybody is good, and they gonna ride for theirs. You know what I mean? So I definitely do love me some Leos. Like, we need the Leos, the bravery, the bravado.
yeah. And clean, to get us into Aries, but I'm just going. So let me go and clarify something, because just with regards to the practice of astrology, just let y'all know, some of y'all realize, just like as my eye Shani just shared some things with y'all, I can let y'all know every season is Leo season. We just let the rest of y'all have seasons. Every season is
I
Leo
mean,
season. Every
technically, yeah,
season is that L,
because of
baby.
the
It's that
sign,
L.
but
It's that L. Every season, Leo season, but we just nice and let y'all have the other seasons. But see, I'm gonna try to
yeah,
maintain
and
myself
that's
right
so
now,
great.
because
We
I
appreciate
knew
you
when you
so
come on here,
much.
I knew you was gonna be pushing my buttons. I knew you was gonna be. I need some water, but I ain't got no water. I just got this right here. So fool, Lord. But anyway, we're gonna move on right here. We're gonna move on. I'm trying to keep my composure. But why did you get in the practice of astrology? Why did you get into the practice and the art of astrology?
I must say that I've just probably been spiritually inclined as a child, because I believe I was into astrology at like 10 years old. Like, I was one of those millennial children. So my first email was like sexy Libra 92 at yahoo.com. So I always have been into astrology, but what made me take astrology seriously though was my interest in it. Once I like took my ego out of it essentially, and like, oh, how you're like, oh, it's Leo's the best, and blah, blah, and I looked at it as more of a learning experience and a learning curve, because from Leo I get my glamour. You know what I mean? When I want to step out, I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking good. And that's nothing but Leo energy, right? So these energies, they play important roles in our lives, right? So for me, I just got intrigued with we're connected to each sign, even if we don't think it, because you may not like Aries, but your ascendant may be in Aries, or your Uranus might be in Aries. You know what I mean? Even your north node, like your north node is your soul's mission, your soul's purpose, and that could be in Aries. You know what I mean? So you don't want to denounce anything too much. Usually the ones that get on your nerves are the ones that you're most like. So, fun little tidbit.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate the information. That is good. But again, always again have to throw it. There is a caveat. There is again an exception. I have to let y'all know, when somebody is a Leo, it is all different when it comes to Leo. But we respect you with regard to your knowledge, your information. I'm just sharing that, even though but you did it, man. Everybody evolves and revolves around the sun. Everybody
I'm
needs the
not
sun. But I'm just saying.
It's
So
okay.
we have to ask this: what are tarot cards? What is the practice of tarot? What is that?
So essentially, tarot is just a form of communication, because the very same things that you receive in tarot are the very same things that you already know. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'll say something from a card and I'm like, I'm not guessing, but I'm just kind of speculating because this is what's coming up. And they're like, yeah, that's exactly what. And I'm like, so you already knew what you wanted to do. You just needed like clarity. So that's what I call it now. You just need clarity. Let's get some clarity on this. Let's get us some, let's just figure out what we need to know. Like, and I don't do it in a fortune teller type of way, like, oh, you're gonna die, you're gonna this, whatever. No, it's more of a what is your spirit need you to know right now? What does spirit need for you to know? Like, what will be the best possible thing for you to know? Unless you know something, like there's something specific you want to know about or ask about in general, is what a spirit has for you. And most of the time people know. They just need that, I guess, that reassurance, that extra nudge of understanding. And that's what essentially what all divination is. It's just a matter of communicating and a way of interpreting spirit. That's it. And the more you do it, the better you are. So
And how did you get into the practice with regards to that?
I don't know. I think I was more curious and kept getting like I'm a person that I'm a natural student and learner, but when I'm learning something, I'm not going to jump head first into it. So I think I was getting readings, or I was just kind of like watching YouTube videos and, on like Libra or whatever, Zodiac sign I was with it at the time. And eventually I was just like, you know what? I think I can do this myself. So I just bought my first tarot card deck and went on from there. But it took years before I decided to do it towards other people, because I needed to understand and be able to distinguish my, intuitive nudges, and also give myself space and time to not. What I don't want to do when I do readings is overcrowded with whatever I'm going through. So if I'm like having some type of mental ordeal, or just something's going on with me and I'm just not balanced, or I'm not, feeling myself, I'm not going to do readings. I'm not, it's not a thing of money for me. I actually don't feel good to do it like that for money. But for me, I also have to understand and honor myself in the exchange of things. So if this is how somebody wants to exchange my energy and exchange this, then I will oblige. But it's definitely I have to be on point type of thing. Like, I'm not gonna just do it if I'm not sure or feeling well,
Okay. And I won't move to this right here, because we have a number of people who not engaged in doing it online, people physically seeing folks, and with regard to doing tarot card readings, and how there's helping the members of the Run Tell That family who are out there. If they are looking for someone to do tarot card readings, what are some of the things that they should look for in that person, with regard that person that will provide that service? What are some of the things? Because some people, I know they get ambiguous, and people have even shared some things with me, and I'm like, no, that ain't, you are off your mark on that right there. And so now, and I gonna say, like, that person, if I pay them money, I'm expecting to get something a little bit more accurate, but with that information, I'm gonna like, no, they ain't, you totally off the mark. So what are some of the things that people should look for who are interested? Because again, we see people moving into that direction. People are engaging in that. We're going to have another conversation about also what this represents too for groups of people. But what should they look for, or what, in your opinion, your thoughts with regards to finding a person that is reputable? Oh, excuse me. Let me back up and share this with y'all. To Run Tell That family. A psychic here, a local psychic, had someone to contact me on yesterday, because the person has some issues, because people contact me at times. So the psychic here had them contact me. And so what I've done, people contact me from out of Florida, people out of Virginia, people all around the country contact me. So they want certain things, and I'll go and tell them. I said, listen, the people who engage in doing this right here are not here. There are other people here who do it, but they are not reputable, and I will not have you contact them. I'm not going to have you contact them, but I'm going to engage them in conversation. So that's why, for the Run Tell That family, that's why I'm asking with regards to Sister Maya Shani, to ask her, so what are some of the things, just if you decide that you want to go for that experience and say it's not Sister Maya Shani, that what should some of the things they look for with regards to that person, for who will be reputable with regards to the practice, with regards to reading tarot cards?
Okay, so first things first, they must have a immense amount of understanding within themselves, because your first mind will let you know that something is off. And also too, I say have a bit of you need to do your own research. Like, there is a bit of responsibility on the patron or the person that's trying to purchase the reading to have a bit of understanding to know what to look for. And granted, you are supposed to be able to trust your spiritual practitioner, I know, but just like in the pulpit, there are charlatans. Just like in any profession, there are people who can say a bunch of words and think and get people to convinced. And I've seen it myself. I've even had to get to a point in place where I don't say anything. I don't, saying, you want to protest because they do give you a bad name. It does give you a bad look. But to be honest with you, people have to learn to discern. I say brush up on your discernment, because your first mind and your spirit will let you know that this is not right. Like, no. And also too, see if you can get a consultation first. Usually consultations don't have a fee. I don't know. It depends on who you're talking to, but I would say do a consultation run, or just get to know or talk to that, practitioner, and see before spending any, even money, spiritual, I say, even letting them know what's going on with you, because some people can use that and they'll start preying on you like a mechanic, like a car mechanic. They'll break down or throw at stuff at you when they need to pay a bill, or, and that's, like I said, that's a part of life. We have to learn how to discern. So I'm not upset with those type of people anymore, because we need that. The world is about balance. And if you don't know what a wolf looks like in sheep clothing, then you need to know that. You need to brush up on that very, very quickly, because you will pay for that in the end. So okay. I say the first thing is to discern. Have a great facet discernment. Okay. And talk to the person. You'll know if they're, just trying to get something out of you. If they're putting something on you, like saying, "Oh, I feel that the spirits are telling you." First of all, you are the director of your spiritual channel. Whatever you receive spiritually, whatever comes for you spiritually is going to come to you first. If you ignore it, then maybe that spirit or maybe that entity will come and use another vessel or use another situation or a dream, something to spark that. But before anybody else knows. So if somebody's trying to play off of that for you, that's an automatic red flag. Like, you don't even know me. How you don't even say, how dare you say I don't have an ancestral altar set up right here? Like, I just talked to my ancestors this rising. They didn't say nothing like that to me. That's what I say when because them practitioners, they come in my inbox too. They come to me, they hit me up. I just block them. I don't even feel bad about it. I don't feel no type of, I don't care. Deal with them. I got a spiritual army. Deal with it. They'll deal with you. Like, I'm good. So that's all I can really say. You know what I mean? It's just about wisdom and learning how to point that and see the differences between the two. And plus, when you get a good person, it's like a good hairdresser. You don't really, like, I've had clients for years at this point now. So, you know what I mean? The proof is in the pudding. And I don't do, like, I should start doing, what is it when people reviews, like they say how they were. I should do that. I don't really do that. I just I'm really bad at advertising, but I just kind of just say, "Hey, I'm doing a reading. Call, holler if you need me," So, yeah, that's what I say.
And it's good when you say with regard to the discernment, because sometimes for some people, again, and we're doing this right now, for some of y'all run tele, probably saying, "Well, why is Jamal having a show with regard to?" Because we have a number of people who are not engaging, who are going through this, and so that's why my thing always, like, we got to put information out there to help folks, so that way folks are who are being rightfully guided. And that's why I'm so glad you say with regard to, you're able to direct a part of your soul. You have that connection with regards to that. And Rebecca Rose, glad to have you on. And so with regard to that, and that's why some of these same people who contact me, I tell them at times, I say, listen here, it is not somebody else on you like that. You have the power. And then when they tell me that they have certain, and they say they have certain gifts, I didn't hit them. I say, if you have that gift, then that means that you have the ability. You have the ability with regard to now to basically knock that out. So it's not that you actually need to have somebody else. It is not you have the power, but you gotten caught up. And that's why I say, because people mislead folks on this path, on this journey, because again, it's all of us are connected to the Most High. Whatever power, whatever name you give to the Most High, we're all connected. And I'm going to say this to Clay Hodges. Clay Hodges, hold up. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that person who might want to go and engage in tarot card reading, but they have a fear. Because I got a question tied to that, Clay. Can you please hold on up? But that's cool. That's what we like, that the interaction with our people on Run Tell That. Because what? Okay, nah. Maya Shani, nah. Oh, because I'd say something about Clay, she going to jump off. She going to jump off. She going to do me like that. But that. Yeah, you're gonna do it because I say something about Clay. You just gonna handle me like that because I say something about Clay
I
Hodges.
had
You gotta leave
a
that.
4-year-old that just broke
But
into my
I don't
room.
care. I ain't scared of you, and I ain't scared of Clay. But I'm gonna go back to it. So now I'm gonna say it to you like this, and it falls in line with God to Clay's question. I believe in God. I believe in God, and doing tarot card stuff, and even like maybe astrology. We can have the fun astrology, but tarot cards and some of that stuff, that is almost like, that's almost like ungodly. It's like ungodly. So but I am intrigued by it. But I know that, at least I'm told, and at least the thought I have, that is ungodly because I've heard people talk about, I heard people preach about, I heard people write about, I've seen people put it out there that is ungodly. So how do you handle that person? What would you say, what advice would you give that person to help that person who has an interest or has a thought, who want to explore, and now again, gain information, gain some insight, but they have in the back of their mind that is ungodly, that it is something tied to, the demons and tied to the evil. How do you handle that person? What do you help that person with regard to giving them some insight?
So we're gonna say that this is on a day that I have time, because that type of person definitely needs time. But I would just say that in regards to it being biblically godly, I would say maybe no. I'm not really sure, because for me, it's not a thing where you're trumping anything over something. You're really just gaining clarity on an understanding on something that you either can't see, you don't know, or you're just confused, you're having trouble. So it's not really a thing where you're worshiping something over your God. Essentially, it's a way to communicate with said God or said source, whatever you call it, and just really understand whatever it is that you're questioning, whatever is going on. Because at the end of the day, you want answers. It's the cognitive dissonance that we gain that stops us from that. But your soul, your spirit wants to evolve. It wants to know, it wants to correct, it wants to evaluate. So I say explore that, but do it cautiously, because I was a Christian. I'll just a little background. I was on my way to being an MIT minister in training. So for me, I didn't go on this journey with saying, oh, I don't love God, or I'm disappointed in God and I need something new to worship. It was more so, I actually wanted to learn more about my people, and I kind of gained an understanding about certain facets that came with the so-called God that we called as a Christian. And I decided to not follow those facets and decide to follow the God within me, because if they say that I'm God's child and, yay are God's, then that makes me a God too, which means that I can also bring life, take life, give life, do whatever it is that I choose to so do with my power, with my ashe. Now, like I said, that's not saying that I'm trumping anything, because I always have respect, and you always want to have reverence for the greater mother, because we're all children, or we're always learning. No matter if you're 80, 90, you can learn something. I mean, I know they say don't teach the old dog new tricks, but to be honest with you, keep that mind going. You want to stay sharp. That's what I say. But yeah, it's just a journey of self-discovery, and you get to decide it. I don't recommend people following people. I mean, you can gain inspiration, you can even gain guidance from people, but following somebody and saying, oh, I'm gonna just do whatever they tell me to do for the rest of my life, and that's gonna give me my whatever I'm looking for. No, I don't agree with that. Unless that person is you, unless that person is yourself, I do not agree with that. And that's why I don't align with Christianity, because it tells you to do the opposite. It tells you to go outside when you should go within. And if you can't hear within, do whatever you got to do that. Like, don't give up. I mean, so that's all I say. Because I was scared to do meditation. I was one of those that thought I was opening up a portal to demons one time. So I did it outside. My first year of it, I didn't trust to do it indoors. And then I actually realized how, not silly, because I don't want to, insult anybody, but for me personally, my fear, I understood the power of my mind. And I understood that I was doing it to myself, you know what I mean? And I want to gain a true experience from this. So I'm going to fully immerse myself into it. And it is a matter of being curious. I'm a natural curious person. And I think I think the human instinct is to be curious, like in certain ways. But yeah, so for me, it was a journey. It didn't just happen easily. I wasn't just like, oh, yeah, I'm going to throw away the Bible now. I'm not ever going to church again. It's more of a, yeah, I don't need that. That doesn't spiritually align with me. That doesn't really do it for me. I'm not gaining anything from that. So I'm going to try something different, because doing the same thing over and over and trying to expect a new result is insanity. So yeah, that's how it is for me. But like I said, everybody's on their own journey, and there are tarot readers that actually do, or spellcasters that do things from the Bible, and they still consider themselves to be Christians and all. They consider themselves to be like mediums to God, you know. So, you know, to each his own. But you can't go into anything with fear. You're gonna have to open up and just be the fool, like in tarot. But yeah.
Well, I'll throw this out there to the people who are listening, checking this out, that again, it regardless of your spiritual foundation, it's all blended together. And it just, and when you have insight, you're able to see. So even someone's Christian, that yes, it is appropriate for them to do that. Now, somebody else may tell them, and that's where that fear comes in, that with regard to people not wanting to explore. Somebody might be Muslim and they're told that they can't do that. Somebody might be following Judaism, or somebody might be a Satanist and they're told that they can't do that. Somebody might be following some other spiritual lines and told that they can't do it. Well, no, when you have an understanding of your spiritual foundation of philosophy of life that you have, you can see that it's in there, and that is right there. It's just that what happens so often, we're told that's what it is. And that's why I was throwing it out there, that again, because people say, I believe in God, so I can't subscribe to that. And like, no, it's not, because that's what happened. That's what you think happened with regards to the messages and the prophets of the Most High. In Christianity,
Exactly.
in Islam, that again, these are people who were connected, and that understanding, looking at the signs in creation. That's what it's about. It's the science of creation. And so I tell folks, so we don't get caught into that, because somebody else is shaping and morphing us. And so that was Rebecca shared something that with regard to tarot cards is about introspection. And I'm going to say it's about enlightenment. So not necessarily that I got to go to use tarot cards. I don't have to do that, because I go and I just said something else. I said that because I'm able to look at the science of creation, because the Most High has told us. That's why, again, for all of us, and that's why I say with me, people know that my spiritual leanings, they know what my spiritual leanings are, and they understand that I can go into any house of God and be respected, because I understand, because I see the commonality, I see the connection between it all. And that's when I go and use that to say, hey, that's why I understand that when you understand about other languages and other cultures, you can make bridges and connections. But when you don't do that, that's when we're disconnected, and people prey off of that. So that's why I want folks to say, hey, Clay, why, this Clay Hodges, Clay Hodges. I'm giving out some deep stuff right now, but you all know, because Clay want to know, how far does astrology and the readings go back into African tradition? Yo, that's a part of who we are. That's us. So that's why I'm saying, so that way, regardless of whatever our spiritual foundation, I say to anyone, that's why you don't go and bash any particular spiritual foundation. You don't bash Christianity. You don't bash people who follow Kemetic philosophy. You don't bash people who follow Santeria, or Palo, or Ifa, or Al-Islam, or Judaism. You don't bash anyone who are Ross. You don't bash any of that, because when you understand African traditions, you understand how it's been infused and how it has evolved. So yes, my brother, that's why. So to Clay Hodges, that's why I say, for me, I've been taught, and I'm always still learning to understand the science in creation, and then being that vessel. That's why people see the African spirit, because people realize the African spirit, that's what it is. And what's so remarkable is that I tell folks that this is now over doggone nearly 20 years ago, if not longer than 20 years ago. I'm at First Tabernacle Baptist Church. And so I did a presentation that my mom was there with me. And this was when Reverend Teddy Williams was right there at First Tabernacle. So I do the presentation. So this elderly gentleman in the church comes to me. He said, that's God talking through you. And I had never told anybody that. In the 90s, I never told anybody that. Never told anybody that. And so I'm looking at him like, yes, sir. Then what happened, this elderly sister comes up. She said, that's God. That's God. So for me, I'm like looking, I'm fine saying, okay, they'll understand it. Because see, other people talk, but they prophesize. They go and do that. And then people look at them, I'm saying, but guess what? all of us have some of that. We know as African people talk being born with a call and other things like that. And so people being seers, people having visions, people having dreams.
Yeah.
That again, that's a part of our tradition, part of our history. And these people are a part of our communities. And these people were valued and treasured because they're going to get the insight, because that's why something that people are going to say that when we are doing this, yes, I tell people, it's not about the money. It's not about the money for us to go. If we're doing a presentation, it's not about the money. It's about us planting the seeds. So some of y'all hear me say that. That's what it's about. Because again, it's something that's coming from the Most High, coming from the ancestors, saying that you got to put that out. You got to put that out to my people. You got to let it be known. So because that's when you really, that's why I'm saying you are not selfless. So when these practices, that's why I still want to have Sister Maya Shani on to say, because now we have some of us going more into this right here, exploring more, who want to explore. Clay's question was like, how do you deal with the people who want to do something? That's why I want y'all to understand that do not have the fear, explore. And you might think on and say, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do, but I have an understanding of it, because that happens for many people. They have studied other spiritual foundations and they have respect for it, but they say, I still like the way that I was raised with this right here, but I know how to infuse that. Or I now leaving where I was raised, I'm not going to this other area. And so, yes, Shani is a great insight. So she is a graduate of Heavens B. Jenkins High School. She's a graduate of Heavens B. Jenkins High School. She is not like Clay Hodges, because Clay Hodges left Jenkins, but he went on to Johnson. But that's a story for another day, another time, just to throw it out there. So, but that's what we want people to understand. We want you to embrace who you are and not be afraid. So, Shani, you embrace Heavens B. Jenkins High School. We're going to move on to the next question. Thank you very much, Julius Hall. So yes, Shani, see the revelation. Shani, would you please stop right now? We want some deep stuff right now.
You
let your lower self stop. Let your lower self get involved right now. Just chill. Just go along. You let your lower self get involved right now. The higher self is not up there. Heavens Beach High School, you are a graduate of, and so again, but we not going this. So what is yoga? What is yoga?
Yoga. So yoga is more of a discipline. You know what I mean? It's more of a way to get out of your body and get into your spirit, because essentially when you're in, like I do Kundalini yoga, which is a very intense, and it is a lot of breathing involved, a lot of chanting, a lot of ab work, a lot of lung work. And I find that I am able to overcome my physical impulses with this practice, because it does push me to the limits. It does I do begin to see that I'm gaining strength from it. You know what I mean? Like you have this shake, and this shake is basically a spiritual way of your weaknesses leaving your body. I know they say that in like working out and stuff like that manly way, but it actually is real though. Yoga is a practice that allows you to build up a discipline, not only just spiritually, but physically, because your body also shows it as well. But yoga is very spiritual though. It helps you get out of your body and overcome that fleshly. It basically allows you to help you with your spiritual journey of mind over matter. So if you are a person that is, say, essentially wanting to get out of not being in control of what you eat, not being in control of what you want to do, I say start a help you practice and regimen of yoga. And you can pick any type of yoga. There's all types of yoga. There's comedic yoga. I personally subscribe to Kundalini, but I also do, I believe it's called Habisat yoga. It's like a more of a body form where you're like, we got your legs up and you're, flexible, all that good stuff. So that's how I get my flexibility from that yoga. But my favorite form of yoga is Kundalini. That is the one that gives me that allows your breath to become big, and your spiritual chi is growing through that. You know what I mean? And your Kundalini, if people aren't familiar, I'll give a little synopsis. The Kundalini is basically at the base of your spine, and If you've ever seen like an ambulance or at a hospital, the snake going around like the rod, that rod represents the spine, and the snake represents the Kundalini energy that rises through, and it shoots and spouts through your crown chakra, essentially. But the thing that I've also learned about it as well with Kundalini is that if you have chakra blockages or things that are physically holding you back, or things that you're doing that are genuinely like keeping certain sectors of yourself, energy centers closed, you won't be able to. And it is actually kind of dangerous to activate the Kundalini, because it'll sit in that chakra or sit in that area, and it can become very irritable because it's supposed to shoot up. So there shouldn't be any blockages. So when you're doing this, it's you definitely want to take your time. You don't want to just jump into it like you're a whole expert. You want to just start once a day and see how it builds from there. But it's definitely a mind over matter practice. So I say, if you are trying to gain a bit more strength over yourself, over your physical self, I mean, like your fleshly desires or things of that nature, yeah, yoga is definitely the way to go.
I'm going to share this. Run, tell that family. You all know we do the edition with regards to Coach Sam Carter. And you know, at 27-17, what happened, you know, he got the athletes over there, the high school athletes, the middle school athletes, the college athletes, you know, college athletes come back. And so what Coach Carter does, like on Saturdays, he also has some of them going to yoga. I will share this with you all. The first time I went to the yoga is worse than the training that we do. And some of y'all know how Coach Carter is. The training, the physical training that we do, people be like, Coach Rob DeLo's going to say, this ain't for everybody, training that we do. And that is absolutely correct. It ain't for everybody. That training was nothing compared to yoga. And I was like, yo. And so then I go back the second time, going back. And so even the yoga instructor, she had threw some stuff on us. She was doing stuff. And one of the athletes when they say, your leg, talk to the trainer, say, your leg is trembling. So she's like, yeah. So I'm like saying, listen here. People talk about it. They make yoga seem like it's like all. I'm like saying, listen here.
They're not doing it.
You're going to feel it. Yeah, and so I just tell folks with regards to athletes. So again, no, I'm people in general. They think, oh, it's just all soft. No, it's not. That's why Jamal don't do the yoga no more. Jamal don't do the yoga no more. Jamal got his own yoga when he's doing his prayers. Jamal got his own repetition. Cause I'm just let y'all know, yoga ain't no joke, and people make it seem like that. Just like you said, Sister Maya Shani, they ain't doing it for real. No. Physically and that, but you go and see now, because again, it's helping you with God physically, emotionally, and mentally. And so now, my sister, this is what we do, because the show, Run Tell That, we are the little brother show of all the ATR shows, the Our Black Media Network show. We only have 4 more minutes on the show. How can people contact you, get in touch with you if they want more information?
Okay, my social media, I have the TikTok, my Aunt Shani. I have an Instagram, my Aunt Shani, the same way you see it in my name.
And all right. And so I will share this to you all. Some of y'all notice Clay Hodges is a hater. Clay Hodges is a straight up hater. I love Clay. Clay is my boy. But Clay Hodges is a hater. Thank you, Rebecca Rose. Thank you very much. But Clay Hodges, you is a hater. But again, you've gone through it. You've done the stretching. And so, but I'll share this. I'll ask you this question, Sister Shani Mayat. What are the challenges that some people face with regard to now beginning to explore these areas from astrology to tarot card reading to yoga? What are some of the challenges that you've seen that help give some of our people some enlightenment with regards to this? And if you can do that for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to close it out. Because I don't want to, because they'll shut us down. They'll cut us off just like that. Julius Hall, our producer.
No, basically, wait, say that question. You just threw me off with that Julius Hall, the producer. What was the last?
What are some of the challenges that people tend to face? Because we moved to some, when they now begin to want to explore with regard to astrology, the tarot cards, and yoga.
Get dated books. Books are not as important as they used to be, but there is power in that date, that piece of information, because you'd be surprised how 1 year is some pieces of information are in a book or in a certain edition, and the next year is not. So I say invest in books, read, and the older the better. At this point, it's hard to trust anything because they change it up on the internet. They can just change it up and act like the date is that, you know. So books, I say get yourself a good collection of books.
All right, cool. And what's the word of inspiration that you will want to provide with our members of the Run Tell That family? What's some words, some insight you want to give to our people?
Honor yourself, love yourself, protect yourself, and be yourself.
Okay. All right. Powerful. We're glad to have you on Run Tell That. And so we're going to come to, well, actually, it was a question which is really the question I pose to everyone, and this is a really important question. And so, but I kind of think we ain't even got to ask the question. It's already understood. The question would have been, and you do not need to respond right now, Shani. You don't need to respond right now. The question is, what is the best high school in Savannah, Chandler County, Georgia, or in the entire country? And it's already understood. You are an alumna of Heavens Beach Jenkins High School, 1800 East Durant Avenue. So that's already given. That's what's already there. And yeah, that's right, Clay. That's right. Clay, you on track right now, baby. You on track right now, my brother. Clay, you on track.
I'm not even gonna argue with you about it. I'm gonna let you have it. You got it, Jenkins.
Julius Hall. Did you hear Julius Hall? Do you hear? That's right. So now, and to clarify to everyone checking out the show, Run Tell That, let y'all see Clay. See that we're gonna block Clay Hodges for being on the show. We're gonna block him. He can't make no commentary no more. Clay Hodges, no more commentary. So what we're gonna throw out there to everybody who listen, been checking out Run Tell That, because it's 6:57. We know what they're about to do. The best Zodiac sign in the whole wide world, the sign that is the greatest, that allow everyone else to have a season, is called Leo season. Leo season. It don't matter if it's 12 or 13. It's Leo. It's the lion. Yeah. And them July cats, them July lions, oh my God, them July lions are the red cats. It is Leo. Leo.
Leo's got it. Hey, shout out to the Leos.
That's why we love you, Shani. And Shani also a historian. So that's why you heard it from her. It's from the historian.
Yeah. I am proclaimed.
So again, we're glad to have you, sis, on the show. We're glad to have you. And so we'll have you back again. So again, we're going to go into another area with regard to history and culture. So yeah, that I said, this is a great sister. There's one of the people out here right now that I'm proud of, who's doing the exploration and getting the information and knowledge. She's not afraid. That's what it's about. See, because this is what the deal is. People from Heavens Beach Jenkins High School, the Happy Hunting Ground, home of the Warriors, we are never afraid about gaining knowledge. We seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. From the cradle to the grave, we seek knowledge. Check it on out. Run Tell That. We'll see y'all next week. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace and blessings.
like that.